This is a quick review of polynomial division, both long division and synthetic division. In long division, we'll do it the same way that we do with numbers. We'll divide and then multiply, subtract that result, and then bring down remaining terms. So let's see how that works with example 1. Our divisor, which is 2a plus 1, goes outside the long division box. And then the dividend, which is 10a squared minus a minus 7, goes inside. Our first step is to divide first term by first term. So if you want to do that off to the side, you can. 10a squared divided by 2a is 5a. So we're going to write that result over here. Next step is to multiply that 5a by the entire divisor, so by 2a plus 1. And that result is 10a squared plus 5a. Now we're going to replace it beneath the dividend, but we're going to change the signs. So negative 10a squared minus 5a. And then we're going to draw that line and add those columns together. That's in the place of subtracting, so we're just going to add the opposite. All right, 10a squared plus negative 10a squared is 0. Negative a minus 5a is negative 6a. Now I'm going to bring down the minus 7, and my next step is to divide again. So I'm going to divide that first term, negative 6a, by the first term of the divisor, 2a, and that will give me negative 3a. So I'm going to, boo-boo there, that gives me negative 3. I'm going to place that negative 3 up there above, and now we're going to multiply that negative 3 by the entire divisor. So negative 3 times 2a plus 1 is negative 6a minus 3. Now I'm going to place that beneath the negative 6a minus 7, but I'm going to change the signs. So that'll change to positive 6a plus 3, and now add. And negative 6a plus 6a is 0. Negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. So this is our quotient. And there is the remainder. And we're going to write our result as the quotient plus the remainder over the divisor. Let's try another example. But in this one, we have to be careful that dividend is not in the arranged order of descending powers. So I'm going to arrange it in descending powers first before we start. So I'm going to place the divisor 3x minus 2 outside that long division box, and the dividend 6x squared minus 7x plus 2 inside. First step will be first term divided by first term. So 6x squared divided by 3x is 2x. I'm going to place that quotient first term above, and now I'm going to multiply that by the entire divisor. So 2x times 3x minus 2 is 6x squared minus 4x. Now I'm going to place that beneath the 6 squared minus 7x, but I'm going to change the signs. Negative 6x squared plus 4x. Draw that line, and now we're going to add. The first terms add up to 0, and the second pair of terms add up to negative 3x. Go ahead and bring down that plus 2. And we're going to divide again, first term by first term. So negative 3x divided by 3x is negative 1. So negative 1 is the second term of the quotient. Now we're going to multiply that negative 1 by the entire divisor. Negative 1 times 3x minus 2 is negative 3x plus 2. And I'm going to change the signs and place it beneath the other. So that's positive 3x minus 2, and we're going to add, and we're going to get a remainder 0. This one turns out to 2x minus 1 with no remainder. There is a second process for polynomial division. However, it can only be used with divisors of the form 1x minus c, where c is some number, when that number can be negative or positive. So it won't work for the previous examples that we did because those divisors had coefficients other than 1 on the x term. All right, so for synthetic division, we're going to place the 0 of the divisor in the box on the left. So when we set up our synthetic division, we're going to set it up like this, where there's a box, or sort of a half box, and the divisor is x minus 5. The number that makes that divisor equal to 0 when replacing x with that number is 5. And so now we're going to place the coefficients of the dividend right next to it. So we start with a 3x cubed and a minus 13x squared and a minus 4 and a plus 2. And we're going to allow a line beneath that to leave blank and then draw a line. First thing we'll do is bring down that 3 and now multiply that 3 by 5, and that's 15. Now add that second column, negative 13 and 15 add up to 2. Multiply that by 5 again, that gives us 10. And now add that column, negative 4 plus 10 is 6. Multiply that number by 5 again, and 6 times 5 is 30. And add that column, and that's 32. Okay, so what did we just find? The 32 is the remainder, and the 3 and the 2 and the 6 are the coefficients of the quotient. So now we need to place the variables back in there. So remember, first term divided by first term, 3x squared divided by x gives us 3x cubed divided by x gives us 3x squared. That's first term divided by first term, so that 3 stands for the coefficient of the x squared term. So first term in the quotient is 3x squared, and then the next term would be 2x, and the next term would be 6, and then we have plus the remainder, 32, over that divisor, which is x minus 5. In the next example, we have some things to be really careful about here. This dividend is in the wrong order. So I'm going to start with my 6x cubed, which is the term with the highest exponent on the variable, and that would be followed by 5x squared. Now normally we follow that with an x term, but there is no x term, so I'm going to think about that as a 0x and then plus 2. So that's what our dividend is, and we're dividing it by x plus 2. So when we set up our synthetic division, I'm going to place a negative 2 in the box. That's the number that when we replace x with it gives the divisor a value of 0. Negative 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. Now I'm going to place the coefficients of the dividend right next to that. So we start with a 6 on the x cubed term, 5 on the x squared term, 0 for the x term, and 2 for the constant term. Skip a line and draw a line. And the first step is to bring down that 6. And we're going to multiply that by negative 2. That gives us negative 12. 5 and negative 12 add to negative 7. Multiply that by negative 2, and that's 14. 0 plus 14 is 14. Multiply that by negative 2, that gives us negative 28. And add that column, 2 plus negative 28 is negative 26. Remember, this last number that we just got here is the remainder, and these are the coefficients of the quotient. And if we think first term, 6x cubed, divided by first term of the divisor, x, that gives us 6x squared. So we know that our quotient starts with a 6x squared, and it'll be followed by a minus 7x and a plus 14, plus that negative 26 over the divisor, x plus 2, is a final form for the answer.